Hey, this your girl, this your girl, this your girl, this your girl. I gotta make sure these things are up here. So when I edit, how you guys doing today? I was about to watch Ronnie the Bottom do a one day revival. Uh, but I decided to come on here to investigate more about Damion Archat. Now, I know that I'm not like other bloggers who interview people or anything like that. I was hoping that, you know, I know that Regina Archat had made a live. In the live, she kind of lied and tried to blame somebody else for recording, even though we could hear her clearly in that audio telling her daughters to record what was going on that night of the abuse, okay? Um, but anyway, because it was getting late and 8 o'clock is usually my bedtime when I lay down, make sure my teeth is brushed because I already done showered up, and decided to start reading before I go to bed, um, to better help me. Um, I decided to come on here and to do a little bit of investigating myself. Because there has been a lot of things that was said about this couple ever since the abuse took place. Okay, ever since people found out that there was some abuse that was going on in the marriage. Okay, um, but Damion, I was reading his post, and I wish that one of them would do a live, or both of them do a live together. I don't want to interview them at all. I'm not that type of blogger. Maybe they could get interviewed by Larry Reed or even King Jives. Uh, Will McCrae tried to get an interview, and I think Damion pissed Will McCrae off. Okay, but he's posted all these things about narcissistic behavior and abuse. Okay, so we're gonna go through this. Okay, because it's in public spaces. And this will not be shared on YouTube. Okay, I do want to read this right here. Oops. Okay. He wrote this in July 24. No cap. My wife is literally the best thing that is supposed to be that has happened to me. I have never loved a woman the way that I love her. At this point in my life, she is literally the most important person in my life. Um, when you love somebody, you are not abusive towards them in any form or fashion. You're not mentally abusive, you're not physically abusive, you're not emotionally abusive, you're not sexually abusive. And one thing that ran into my mind, love does cover a multitude of sin. If you cannot cover that person when they mess up, you don't love them neither. I just want to throw that one out there because I heard somebody say that and now I understand it very well. Okay, well, I'm tired of this car running around here, but I'm going to do this live anyway. At least you don't hear no toilet flushing. I was about to go outside to the back, but it's dark and people wait till at night to start acting crazy anyway. Uh, anyway, there is a wedding picture right here. And I believe this is Regina. Yeah, Regina and Damion getting married. There's his 3 daughters that he had with another lady. Okay. So I guess I don't know if this was. Let's see. Congratulations, congratulations. I guess they finally tied the knot. And of this year, in April. Look at that. Okay. Okay, I'm strolling, and this is what I'm running. Mini.
often say that I am graced to love you, and that is the truth and nothing but the truth. Who would have ever thought our story would have not been a fairy tale, but our perfect story? I'm ready to decide what road will lead my life. Many are the plans in a person's heart, but in the Lord's purpose, it's only the Lord's purpose that prevails. I'm ready to move on. Now I know this is God's plan, and I promise to be with you until the end. I often say that I am graced to love you, and that is the truth and nothing but the truth.
People, it was very nice. It's just that the fairy tale ended. That's all. But let me show you what I'm looking for. Again, this guy is preaching or putting on social media something that he's actually struggling with. Okay? I'm going to read this, but this is not what I'm exactly looking for. Okay? The social media trend nowadays concerning how to properly navigate through relationships are terrible. Listen, everyone. Everyone is not against you. If you are always seeing people as manipulators, liars, fake friends, narcissistic, or backbiting haters, you have to identify in your circle, then the truth is something is wrong with you. You may just be a negative person. Perhaps you could be, okay, well, I guess he's trying to make sense of this. And, I would have thought this was the perfect pastor some months ago. I didn't know about the rumors that happened about a couple of years ago and stuff. So it's kind of funny that, they putting certain things out there. And, it's just got me like, okay. But this is not what I'm looking for, okay? That's why I'm not reading the whole thing. Let me continue on. Again, another post that makes me like, okay. I'm just saying, every pastor is not looking over your gift just because they don't give you a microphone. Some pastors are trying to get that lustful ambition out of you. That's why they don't give you a mic. Get developed. I saw an earlier post that was posted around June or July that said happy anniversary. If they got married this year, how is it their anniversary? I'm just saying. But I haven't gone far enough to see if the wedding took place last year. But he did post this, and okay.
And I'm doing that today. Get a copy of the report. People still talking about, I need to see receipts and all.
Let's take a look. I didn't plan to run across this. Laws post. Please read. So 2 years ago, I dealt with attacks and an accusation because of having a public divorce. Okay, sir. Yeah, there's a police report out there just to say it. But if you want to talk to me about, that's fine. You inbox me or something, or have your wife. I prefer both of y'all. I don't even allow a man to come over to my house, and I'm not gonna allow a married man to call me and his wife ain't sitting right there. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want no rumors to get out. But feel free for you and your wife to holler at me, because you can inbox me, message me, send me a message, and because this will be live on the Facebook page. You can even send me a message over there on YouTube. And like I said, you ain't hear no tallest flesh this time, nothing like that. it's very interesting that you felt like you was being attacked, but somebody released a video or a picture of your wife with another woman. Now, who took the picture? And this was your ex-wife. And then at the same time, your now wife, before she married you, was doing a video, and people heard you and the ex-husband in the background. Talking, just talking. Wasn't doing nothing sexual, just talking. And that's what made people rumor or believe that you and your now wife was seeing each other before you got married. I'm just saying. But it's interesting how you have,
A copy of a text message between the victim and Larry where
of Larry Reed. Now, Larry Reed took down his video of when he interviewed you because I wanted to see that again and to see what you had to say about everything. And I didn't get a chance to. I seen where Larry Reed did do a story about you. Will McCrae is basically coming after you. That's, so maybe you want to clear the air out or something like that. But anyway, I'm going to read this. Long post. Please read. So 2 years ago, I dealt with attacks and accusation because of having a public divorce. It was heartbreaking to have had my name dragged from people that didn't even know me after a show by Larry D. Reed, a man that also didn't know me. Today I'm out celebrating with my wife on vacation just to get the news that the same man that has helped hurt so many people and calling it news is accused of molesting little boys. Now, sir, if you had listened to their more live, you would have known that the third accuser was grown. He wasn't a little boy. He was grown. And also, Larry denied molesting anybody. So just like, unless there is a video just like there is or audio of you abusing your wife and her daughters, I cannot say that he is a molester. I cannot say Larry is a molester unless there are video or audio proof of this. Okay, so let's keep this in mind. The third person that Daryl Moore interviewed, supposedly the third accuser, was grown. He was of age. And the age limit or the limit of consent in North Carolina, I'm sure it's, and I would look it up again, I'm sure it's about 17. It might be 16. But let me look up for North Carolina because this supposedly took place in North Carolina. Okay, so let me read on. When you throw rocks at people, you need to ensure you don't live in a glass house. I have never proclaimed to be perfect, but I haven't had to destroy others to cover my mess either. Well, who in the world? How did Larry Reed and these other people get this picture, or because I didn't see it, how did they get a photo or a video of your ex-wife and another woman? And who was doing the filming? Because it seems like your now wife still has a problem with your ex-wife. Just saying. Okay, so back to the reading. And I'm not going to take long because I still have to eat and jump in bed. It's about 8:30 now. Okay? I do want to do a little bit of reading before I fall asleep. And this is the thing. When your business is all over social media, then people talk about it. I would be wrong if I went down to Florida and just came into your house and then took what was going on in your house and put it all over the place. Now that would make me wrong. But when this stuff is all over the place already on social media, there's nothing you can really say. So what I mean that, yeah, I would like for people to stay out of my business. That means if I'm not putting it out there on social media, it shouldn't be out there. That's a big difference. If the stuff had stayed in your house and y'all not sitting here trying to sit up there and try to cover up your mess by exposing somebody else's mess.
You told me about.
Okay, so let me read on. I read a long time ago. All have sinned and fallen short of the glory. Okay, none of us are not perfect. That's true. None of us, not even myself. None of us. The only person who was perfect that walked this earth was Jesus. Okay? So I have never been quick to run my mouth on others. I pray for all victims and their families who had to endure such unthinkable acts. You know, I pray for all victims too who had to endure you beating and choking and everything that you have been doing, because this is a whole mess right here. Because I'm trying to get to what you call was your testimony, because you kind of like either you how should I put it? What do they use for drug addicts? Somebody who get clean and then go back. So you kind of like you know what I'm saying. Okay. Anyway, let's get back to this. Okay. I read a long time ago, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory, so I have never been quick to run my mouth on for all victims and their families who had to endure such unthinkable acts. I also pray for the people who had the courage to speak up and the rest that may step forward. I'm also praying for the people who were quick to follow Larry Reed and have been let down. I pray everyone that followed his gossip vlog get back to the heart of God. I pray for everyone who made me and my family go through hell for your entertainment. All I can say is I forgive you. Much love and much prayer.
And he said there's a police report. He gave me the contact information to reach out to the police officer.
So anyway, I hope you've been keeping up with what's been going on with Mr. Daryl Moore, because he does have a lawsuit. And it's not really basically pertaining, listen to this, it's not pertaining to the guys that he interviewed. It's pertaining to him just totally slandering Larry's name, defamation of character, just a whole lot of other stuff that he said about him beating up his mother, about his wife, and the stuff that was going on between him and his wife, family, and all this other stuff. It was just a laundry list. The bankruptcies, him having bad credit, and just the list just go on. It's the financial, personal, all of that. So very little bit of this lawsuit has to deal with these accusers, because, you know, if it was based on him interviewing these accusers and calling him out, I'm sure these accusers would have had a lawsuit as well. But also he has said that he had made mention that somebody had told him that Larry had the package. So he is dealing with all of that. Okay, I don't hate Daryl Moore. I have nothing against him. I'll just let you know what's what. Okay? Moving right on.
It's working good. I'm on the road. Me and my brother. Tice over here. Say what's up, bro.
What's going on, good people? God bless you.
When y'all get on, do me a favor.
Okay, it took me a while to get here, but I'm here. I'm going to read this. I did the 22 push-up challenge. Okay. 22 veterans commit suicide every day after coming back home after fighting for our country's freedom with PTSD. Being a combat veteran with PTSD myself. So this is no allegedly anymore. He admitted that he do have PTSD. He's a veteran. He has PTSD. I want to ask you to join me in the push-up a day challenge for 22 days for awareness of fallen heroes. Thanks. And there's another post I want to get to because about the drinking and stuff like that. Because yeah, he posted it and I just gotta find it, okay? So we did find, and this is what I was looking for, that he has PTSD. Okay? Okay, so let me read this. This might be what I was looking for. I read across that other stuff. I stumbled across it and I made some commentaries and everything else. Okay, oftentimes those who have experienced trauma or have PTSD can feel as though Valentine's Day is a day full of triggers. It can be difficult to manage one's emotion while being flooded with messages of love and affections that can potentially serve as reminders of past horrific events. While everyone else around you is happy and in love, you feel depressed. For example, those who have encountered sexual assault, divorce, bad breakups, may be particularly sensitive to compliments or physical affection. Even something as well intentions as a hug can be incredibly uncomfortable. During this time, the best thing many can do is just listen to people. Give them space to express their feelings without blaming them for it. Well, it's funny that you say that you need to give somebody space for their feelings when somebody is telling you no, they don't want to conversate right now, and you don't want certain people to be in a conversation, but you still want to have the conversation around these people. Make it make sense. Okay, you go back and listen to that audio yourself. Okay, we have made it plain and clear. When Craig dropped it, all of us heard it. She said no, she didn't want to conversate right now, but you still want to conversate, but you don't want the girls to be in it, but you want to conversate around. Baby, you was just all messed up that night. Okay? Okay. Again, I have to smirk at this. Before we got married, we became friends. It is so important to have a friendship and a relationship. Well, first of all, you should have became friends with her after you got divorced. I'm just saying. Then you become friends and have a relationship. I'm just saying. But I noticed that people preach about their weaknesses. You notice that people preach more. Like if they have a problem with sex, they'll preach about sex all the time. They'll preach about how women should dress and all of that. You can listen to that stuff. One thing about it, and I know that I was caught up by some famous people. I don't mention their names or initial or nothing like that because this ain't about them. But I did a live and I got caught up by two people. One person I actually post on YouTube on my page. The other person I did, and they was doing something with the women, having them to have a certain type of diet, no meat or nothing like that. And they was not happy about me doing that live, and I did it on Facebook. That's the thing about it. The one person who called me out that I did the video on, I never even mentioned anything about her. She just heard what I was saying and did her live on her Facebook page, and I happened to accidentally come across it. Nobody told me about this or nothing. I was just saying what she was preaching about. I happened to see this. But I didn't accidentally come across the other person page because I was doing that thing with them too. Okay? They wanted to let me know that the bloggers was lying about them, and they mentioned stuff about their degrees, college degrees, and everything else. They never mentioned nothing about their sextivities that was brought out all over social media. they past activities. But I noticed that they would always want to critique certain people who they had attraction to, because they was the type of person who had attraction to both sex. And they would always refer to that one of the sexes, how they should dress and all of that, and everything else. And I noticed that that was because they like that type of stuff. I found a friend of theirs, a past friend that is, not a recent friend, from the past, a blast from the past, who had made a video a few years ago, and I emailed them, and they emailed me back. And come to find out is that this famous preacher paid to have sex with them, and then later on had a 3 or 4 year relationship with them right before they got married to somebody. So when you hear these people sit up here preaching about sex and all that, that's their weakness. That they preach it to themselves. Basically, they and this person had a famous message about sex too. That was the thing about it. But anyway, so I'm looking at this again. I said before we became friends, but it was all over the social media about your sex activities with the ex-wife, about your sex activities with the ex-wife. So, it's what it is. Okay, this was this year. Again, I got divorced dealing
Your
with
friend and brother here. I'm Damion Archat,
So you got married to
affectionately known as PDA, BDA. However you know me, man. I appreciate you.
Okay, this is.
I am.
Lord. Light versus dark. Let me just keep going.
Today is a great Monday. Really want to share something.
Okay, now why would a pastor ask the singles, would you have another child with someone with a potential mate if they wanted to get married and had no kids, but you already have children? Okay, so he was in Iraq. It seemed like he was in Iraq. And again, this was a war that we should have never. I don't think we should have been in the in Iraq at all. There was no weapons of mass destruction. Just like we should have never been into Vietnam. But, now it's a mess over there, and, they done brought out the soldiers from over there, but you seen what was going on. I think that was Iraq, where they brought out the soldiers and stuff. So, I mean, that was just a war that we should have never entered into. We had Desert Storm, and Daddy Bush was president at the time, and then Baby Bush came along, and and we should have went into Afghanistan to get Bin Laden and his crew for what they did at 9/11. In 2001 on 9/11. But I don't think we should have went into Iraq and knowing that there was no weapons of mass destruction. Okay, yeah, Saddam Hussein was a dictator. That he was. But there's a lot of dictators nowadays. Okay, and that's just my opinion. If they wasn't messing with America, we should have left them alone. That's my opinion. Okay. No, we know that a lot of people got killed over there. I don't know if it was I don't think it was as many as the number of people that got killed in Vietnam, another war that we should have stayed out of. But anyway, yeah, thank God my biological father, he went over there. He was in the Marines and stuff, military police, and he left up out of there. But a lot of those soldiers got on drugs. A lot of them was dealing with PTSD. I don't think back in those days they knew what it was. You had soldiers come home unemployed, not able to find work. Now they don't fix all of that today to where they can come home and have work and have better benefits if they have been seriously injured in a war or something like that, or while serving. Period. Um, they have all these benefits for them. So I thank God that things are a lot better for them, and that they're not being treated like they was being treated over 30 years ago. With all the help that the soldiers are getting, this man, Damion Archat, I want you to hear me. You need to go get this help. Because that night, and you need to go to a counselor with some license too. Okay? Because there's people out here, even in churches, that talk about they're a counselor, but they don't have no license, no schooling for counseling, none of that. Go to somebody with some license. Okay, again, a lot of Christians don't know anything about Halloween, its origin, how it came about, how the Roman Catholic came and tried to paganize. And this is why you have ignorant people standing up in ministry, in the church, telling folks that, uh, the Islamic people is going to come and try to pervert the religion and all this other stuff. Because they don't know nothing about it. They don't want to believe that the Pope or the papacy, period, have a lot to do with being an antichrist, because you don't hear those Islamic people talk about you don't hear nobody calling these Islamic leaders and teachers father. But they call the Pope father. Now make it make sense. Father this, or your eminence, your grace. And Pope's sit up there and talk about he forgiving sins and stuff. Do you see that going on with the Muslim people? That I'm not for Islam neither. That's not the belief that I'm up under. I'm just saying. And he's uniting all of these different religions as well. Now, people that's, Islam stuff might want people to join Islam, and same with Christians and stuff. You got the Pope out here who want all of these religions to be united. And if you don't believe me, you need to read about Pope Francis. But anyway, you need to go to my video where I did the origins of Halloween. You can also go to Truth Unedited. You can go to A Call for Uprising. You go to Up TV on YouTube. And they will give you the history of Halloween and how it used to be called Samhain and the Celtic people. And it's pronounced Celtic. It's not pronounced Celtic. It's pronounced Celtic people. And the Druid priests, they had their rituals that they do on this day, on the 31st, because it was the end of summer. Well, it was it was the end of harvest rather, and the beginning of a long winter. Okay. So you need to do your research on it. Okay. That's all I have to say. Y'all will find out why a lot of people don't dress their kids in costumes anymore and do the bobbing of apples and stuff, and be still there telling scary stories and watching scary movies and stuff, and all of that. You'll find it out. Okay, I may have been wrong. It seemed like, I'll read it. I am rejoicing with all engagements and weddings on today. You all look lovely. Congratulations, Brandon Thompson and his wife. Congratulations, Hope Boykin and her husband, John H. Burton Sr. Congratulations, Dr. Regina Martin and Pastor Damion Archat. You all look so beautiful. And, now she didn't mention whether they was married or not. She mentioned about the husband and wife, and then I guess these two, let's see what it says here. Congratulations to my Apostle Regina Martin and Pastor Damion Archat. I love you all dearly. Trust me, I got you all blessings. Now, I guess they must have been engaged or something here. Okay. And you see where it says Regina Archat, which is her maiden name. Okay. Martin. Regina Martin. I'm sorry. Martin. Okay. Let me see what it says here. Their love story isn't perfect, but it will, of course not if it's on. Anyway, let me just go on here. Their love story isn't perfect, but it's perfect for them. It's, well, why she put it with an apostrophe S? It had its share of ridicules and ups and downs, but they stood through the fire and walked and prayed it out. I love my leaders. Regina Martin, soon to be Archat. So she wasn't married around this time, so I don't know why somebody still did talk about some happy anniversary, whatever. Okay? And Damion Orlando Archat, whom poured into me and pushed me to grow. And got well. I'm happy that they helped you. And the only thing about doing lies about these people is that the people who they help is the ones that's being hurt behind us. Okay? But let me tell y'all something. And that's why, I mean, and you know, I know that January 16th, some people might be in their feelings or something because we have picked out a person who we all share 63 things that they had done throughout their ministry that I know of. Okay, that's already all over the internet. Okay, and it's just what they did in ministry. We ain't gonna pull out the girlfriends and you know the boyfriends and all of that stuff. We're not gonna do that. I don't know anything. I only know one person in particular that they ever had a relationship besides the person who they actually married. Okay, that's all I know. All the rest of that stuff was hearsay, and because there is no solid foundation on it, it's just hearsay. It's just what somebody said. It's not facts. So I won't be pulling out that, but what I will do is pull out stuff that they have done or said in the pulpit or even outside the pulpit. Just being them. And so I know people already have started preaching about, oh, sometimes the prophets and prophetess could have mental illness and all that. Well, okay. And this person have dealt with mental illness, depression, just like this pastor has dealt with it. But you know, this pastor, you know, he started doing some things like drinking and all of that stuff. Wasn't good. And y'all know the rest is history. And that was last month. Okay? The month of breast cancer awareness, domestic violence awareness, and the month that Halloween comes in, you know? Wow.
Demon, in the name of Jesus, may you be blessed. And we love you. I love you. From day one, I was seeing y'all. Woo! Y'all, I'm just blown away. They gotta get us in the mode.
Oh my gosh, I'm so messed up right now. I am so messed up right now. Oh my God. Oh my, oh my God, I'm so messed up, y'all. Oh, let me stop crying. Okay, I gotta go, y'all. I'm so messed up. Your makeup. Yeah, I'm so messed up right now. Sorry, y'all. I love y'all. I gotta go too. What's
We come against every witch, warlock, every demon. In the name of Jesus, may you be blessed. And we love you. I love you.
okay? There was the virtual shower, because they couldn't be. We was dealing with a pandemic at the time.
Like an angel, much to my surprise. When you came, you were what I have been looking for my whole life. So I gave you this promise in the rest of my life, doing everything to make you happy. So I'll be the
Okay, guys, this video has been worth it. I'm gonna have to make sure I have deleted every other video that I made, because I did do one, and I do encourage you guys to look at the video that I made on virtual reality. I didn't say nothing about it being sin and all of this stuff. I just want you to know what Mark Zuckerberg is planning for Facebook, and to look at some of these films that has the virtual reality in it. Like, I should have had that when I did Total Recall. I should have had did the one where Sharon Stone was doing a tennis thing with that virtual reality person, instead of Arnold Schwarzenegger going to something to be immersed in his mind and all of that stuff, because we know from watching the movie that he actually, his cover is blown. So I should have did the virtuality thing where Sharon Stone is playing tennis with this virtual reality image. And then I did Veracity, whatever that movie was, with Russell Crowe and Denzel Washington, when he talked about the God of this world and the God of virtual reality. And then I did The Matrix, and I should have had again. And actually, I think I put that footage into the film where they was in this virtual reality thing. Okay, so watch it. It's pretty good. Mark Zuckerberg plans on having this type of stuff. There's a video out there on YouTube with Mark Zuckerberg doing this. And you can also watch Call for Uprising and Truth Unedited. They both did a video concerning this. Now listen to this. This is where, and I know where it's at now. So if my video gets split up, I will come back to this and just do this part, because I want you to hear something. This pastor is mentally ill. Okay, that night that took place, he was mentally ill. And I'm sure Regina knew this. Okay, one thing with mentally ill people is that they cannot be having alcohol in their system. I have an aunt who used to be on drugs, a biological aunt, and she told me she can't even drink beer. Okay, because it would trigger something in her to want to do drugs. I just don't know what that is, okay? So he might have had relapse and to drink it again. So listen to this, okay? This was posted on July 31st, my brother's birthday, my baby brother's birthday. July 31st rather, and that is JD's birthday, July 31st, 2020. Mental illness is something that plagues so many people today. Depression, anxiety, and PTSD are silent killers. Now, remember, I told you that these guys, these preachers especially, preaches on their weaknesses. They just present it to the people like, hey, to the general, like, if I'm helping y'all to get out of this, when they really preaching to themselves, okay? Just like about those, you know, sit up there wearing those short skirts and no stockings and greasy legs and all of that, you know, just to say. The okay, they may not cause physical death, but they do cause each and every individual affected by them to lose a piece of themselves. As an individual who struggles with depression as well as anxiety, I myself am on the battlefield in this fight against mental illness for a very long time. I was full of anxiety, depression, anger, fear, anger, self-doubt, low self-esteem, and alcohol. Everything was hurting me emotionally, mentally, and physically. But as scary as it was, I took a stand and put up a serious fight for my soul, my health, my spirit, and everything that matters in this life. I stopped caring about people's thoughts and started caring more about getting better. While suffering with PTSD from my time in war while deployed in Iraq and depression during the most challenging time in my life, I wanted to quit, but I realized that God had more for me. He blessed me with biological and spiritual children that needed me to keep going. God brought someone in my life that saw my ugly and was mature enough to handle it. My boo thing, Regina Martin. Now, you know what? I know that people wanted this to be a happy ending. Some people you just can't help. I will be honest with you. I'm not discouraging nobody. I'm talking about there are some people. Regina just could not help him, but somebody else might can, like a psychiatrist or psychologist, somewhere around there. His friends, his male friends, because I'm sure this man wouldn't have raised a fist at a man. Okay, and this is very dangerous because we know that we have heard of people actually killing their spouse. Uh, Chris Benoit, the wrestler from WWE. I was living in Atlanta, and the news came on where he killed his whole family and himself. And come to find out, he had a brain injury because his favorite move was headbutting, jumping off the top rope, and his head landed on the shoulder part of somebody. And he could have had CT, that stuff that a lot of football players have because Junior Seau killed himself too. And he found out that's what he had. And he played for the San Diego Chargers. So what I'm saying is, if you're gonna marry these people or have a relationship with, that's why I just moved away from my adopted mother. And people was wondering, they thought I was holding a grudge, and that's why I was no, that dude that she with, I'm not gonna mention his name or her name. He dealt with the same thing, and it's like I don't have time to deal with ignorance because sometimes people be doing stuff to try to provoke you and all that stuff. And I just, you know. I understood that he had some problems anyway. And, and I think part of his problem, I'm not going to guess anything about him. It was something that was personal. I know other people who hear about it try to, I understand some people might use your story against you or whatever else, but I understand also that there are some people who are actually sick. And let me just say this to Damion Archat. You had posted somebody video concerning Larry Reed, and the person who was doing the talking saying that they had investigated these people and was accusing, or not accusing him, was saying that they had some accusers, some people who were saying that Larry did this and that to them. Uh, that person who interviewed those people deals with depression as well. And I have a video where he said that he beat up some woman after he had denied beating up women. Somebody had accused him of being abusive towards women and child, and he was like, "No, they had made me out to be abusive towards women, abusive." And they got on a platform and told how he was abusive to a woman and how he blacked out and he didn't realize that what had happened. He just knows that he had her braids in his hands while she was screaming down the street getting some help. So anyway, let me first read this and then that's it for the live, okay? If you are reading this, I'm telling you that your history did not dictate your destiny, or does not dictate. I'm sorry, your history does not dictate your destiny. If you have suffered a loss in any way, you need to grieve properly. Now, I'm no therapist, no, but you do need one. Okay, I will say that. You and the other person that I mentioned. Not there. Well, he might need one too, but the other person that I mentioned, uh, the other person, because anytime you giving people bad advice just to make yourself feel good, you need a therapist. And that person, if they hear it, they know who I'm talking to, who I'm talking about. I'm no therapist, and nor do I claim to have all the answers. But one thing that I do know is that whatever dream is in your heart, whatever goal you need to achieve, with a fight, determination, and a solid, non judgmental support system, you too can triumph over anxiety and depression. Okay, Dr. Damion Archat, you kind of like turned your dream into a nightmare. Okay, because you basically probably lost the woman who you probably really cared about. Because one thing you did that night was that you was drinking. The other thing that you did, and when you're drinking like that to the point where you basically drunk, you might not know it, but there are some people who cannot drink because they become the angry drunk. You would not allow that woman space. Okay, you're hollering. You don't want none of your kids and her kids to be in your conversation, but you want to conversate while these people is at the house. Okay, that's a whole mess right there. When she says she don't want to talk about it, you should have left it alone. Wait till all those people left and do it the next day when you was calmed down, when she was calmed down, when you was more sober and in your right mind to properly talk to her. And see, the thing with Regina is I believe that she was abused before. This is what I believe. Okay? And she just walked right in this with her eyes open. Because she thought that you was going to treat her a lot better than you did your ex-wife. Because you have a history of being violent towards women. You choked your ex-wife till she was passed out. You know, had you killed her, there wouldn't have been no marriage and all these pictures of love and all this. And you try to convince people that you in love. with folks. And I believe that you probably do care a whole lot about Regina. Okay? But in your state of mind, I could see that she could not really help you that night. Things really got out of control. You followed this woman, even when she said she didn't want to conversate, you still wanted to talk. But you ain't want her daughters or nobody to be in it. Then you went outside right along with them after you told her to drop them off. And things escalated from there. Instead of you just walking away saying, you know what, I'm going to just give you space. I'm just going back in the house with these 3 kids. You and your daughter just get on and we'll talk about it when you get them ready to talk about it. That's it. But you couldn't do that. And I understand I'm a single person. I've never been married, but I have dealt with a man. I will put that out. I have dealt with a man because I was in the church too, playing all the keyboards. Wasn't a good player, but was sleeping with a dude. And I got tired of dealing with that. And that's why I'm still single today. As I see people in the family, in the Slash family, let me verify that because I do, I'm finding biological family and stuff. It's not I see people in the Slash family who have dealt with craziness and stuff like that. I think that, you know what? If you have known my brother Russell is a preacher, okay? He is married. He is actually 40, he's 7 years younger than me. He's 41. Okay? And I was there. Now, my brother never got physical with any woman, never believed it because we didn't have that in our family. The type of dad that we had didn't believe in hitting a woman. Okay? He gave me a whooping one time, and then I was doing something stupid and stuff like that. And stuff like that. And that's when he hit me, but he never again hit me. And that was when we had gas and all that over. Okay? So there was some eyewitnesses. But he never hit me again. He was the type of person who lectured. He always wanted to talk to you about it, or even if he fussed about it, that's the type of person he was. And he was a person who spoke his mind. But he had a problem watching The Color Purple because of how Mr. was treating Celie. He was just the type of man who he just did not like hitting a woman, whether it was his child, wife, somebody on the street. But he just did not like for women to see women abused. And that grew up in my brothers. And when my brother got married, and I can tell you this because my brother and his wife, they get along very well. They in ministry together and all this stuff. But I remember when they first got married, okay? I was there, lived with them back in 2008 and happened to walk in on an argument and what was going on was that people from both families was in their marriage. Try to tell the person that try to tell a loved one this and that need to go on and all this other stuff, trying to critique what went on in their house and in their marriage. That's what was really going on. And so it was causing a lot of strife between the two of them. And I walked in and he had just gotten off the phone with her mother. I'll never forget it because at the time they had 2 young kids. The middle child was a baby at the time. And I had to grab the 2 kids and take them in the room and get them away from the argument because it was just that loud. But nobody threw no punch at each other. Nobody hit nothing like that. It was just a lot of screaming and yelling at back and forth. And they went through for a while until they got everybody up out of their marriage. And things started going right for them. And there was some financial issues too, but now They the perfect marriage. They've been together for like, let's see, it's been 14 years. They've been together. So they would be the best person to talk to that I know of. Because they've been through the wars and everything else. She done left a couple of times, went back up north, and then came back. And he didn't go up there chasing after her neither. He just went and prayed. And she came back, showed up. I remember one time he left and he went back because somebody told him why he leaving. Now, don't you pay all the bills and stuff? One of his preacher friends. And so he went back. And then the last time he went back, his pastor told him to go back. The last time he left, everybody in the family was like, oh, you can keep him with us and all this. Don't go back and all that. Well, his pastor told him, go back. And gave him a few advice. And he went back. Now he's pastor at church. They both in ministry together. And she has spoke this past Sunday. I'm not a part of their church. I live in another state and stuff. But he would be the best person to talk to if you need to talk to anybody. I understand y'all want to stay away from the bloggers. My brother's not a blogger. He's not into that type of stuff. And I'm sure whatever you tell him, it will pretty much stay with him. Me, on the other hand, I wouldn't tell you unless you tell. I wouldn't tell nobody unless you. If it's personal, private, something like that, I wouldn't tell nobody. If you say, let's just keep this between us, I would keep it between us. And stuff like that. But I wouldn't want to talk to you unless your wife was sitting right there. Okay? So I'm sure there's other men in ministry that you know, but you need to get some help. You need to talk to somebody. Both of y'all do. And both of y'all don't need to be pastoring nobody for right now. That's what I would say. So anyway, I wanted to show everybody else this post. And that's all I have. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful night. I got to eat right quick and go to bed because I have to work tomorrow morning. Bye.